Welcome everyone. I'm here to introduce you to Rock Bottom Golf's new time tracking system, Tsheets. You should have already received an email notification requesting that you set up your Tsheets account. This is going to be from the email address on file with Gusto. So once you get that set up, it's going to take you to this web dashboard where you can see some instructional videos on how to clock in and clock out, but I'm going to kind of walk you through that right now. So if you go over to the time clock feature, go ahead and select a job code to get started. So just to touch on these briefly, the retail job codes are specific to the warehouse employees. We have a wholesale job code specific to the wholesale employees, and then anybody else that doesn't fall into those two categories should basically be using the general and administrative function. And then we have a holiday job code as well, which we'll touch on in a minute. So we'll go ahead and select general and administrative. We're going to hit clock in, and it's going to immediately start counting that time for you. So once you're in and once you're clocked in, you'll have the ability to take a break or clock out, or while you're in there, you can pick a different category. Let's say you're one of those warehouse employees and you got to switch between jobs. You can hit the switch button, and now it's going to basically end your time on the previous job code and start your time back up on your new job code. Okay, once you're done there, let's say we want to take a break for lunch. We'll do that as well. That should be 30 minutes, but for now we're just going to end that break. And we are back on the clock. So now it's getting to be the end of the day. Let's go ahead and clock out. And you're basically done with that piece. Now, if you want to see that time entry, you'll want to scroll down to this area over here, time entries. And you'll see that all of that activity that we just did got recorded in 4 separate transactions in the timesheet log. So this is Monday, December 28th. You'll see that there are some PTO requests in here that I was using as examples for future days in this week, and we'll get into that in a second. But in this time entry section, if you wanted to or needed to edit your time, this would be the place to do it. So you would go ahead and select this pencil icon to edit time. Go ahead and let's just say that you forgot to clock in timely. Let's just change that to 12 p.m. and then we're going to add a note this time just because your manager is going to get a notification that you've been editing your timesheet and you want to explain why. So we'll just go ahead and add a note, forgot to clock in. We'll hit save. And there we go. Now your time has been updated for 29 minutes rather than the few seconds that we already had in there. Another function of this time entry piece is holiday time. So obviously through the time clock feature you can't really enter 8 hours as a block of time for a holiday, so you'll want to add it in this feature. So go ahead and hit add time. We're going to change it to duration from time in, time out. We'll go ahead and add January 1st as that holiday. We'll put 8 hours in. And make sure you select the holiday time code for that entry. Hit save. And we're going to hit refresh quick so you can see that time entry come in. And we'll actually just need to scroll over to January 2021. January 1st, 8 hours, holiday. There we go. So let's go back to December. So once you're good with your time entry for the week, you have until the following Monday at 9 a.m. to submit your time. So Submitting your time is now mandatory and then must be done through Tsheets. So in order to do that, you'll go up to the Submit Time button up here, and we'll go ahead. This is always going to have your prior pay period in it, that prior week. So basically, once you click on January 2nd, if you just click that, it's going to select all of the dates for you. Once you're comfortable there, just go ahead and hit Submit Week. Are you sure you want to submit the time through January 2nd? It's a good question. You want to make sure that you're 100% good with your time, as you will not be able to edit that time after you hit Submit. So we'll hit Submit there. And that is basically it then for the time entry piece of the web platform. The other pieces along this left side are stuff that we're currently not using. Hopefully we'll get the scheduling tool up and running soon. Projects is not something that we're working with. Who's working is not really relevant, but that we just discussed time entries, but we should get into time off so you know how to request time off and see where your balances are, stuff like that. So let's walk through an example of how to request time off. So we'll hit Add Time Off here. Select a code. So if this is your birthday, you can hit that 8 hours of PTO time for that, or generally speaking, it's always going to be your PTO code. We're going to select a day off sometime next year, January 4th, 8 hours, and hit Send Request. Now your manager is going to get an email notification letting them know that you have requested paid time off, and they will now need to log in to approve or deny that paid time off. So just to give you some examples of what that will look like after it's been addressed. So here I have an example of an approved one. Here's a couple of examples of some denied ones. And here are just some examples of some pending time off requests waiting a manager approval. So easy enough. And then let's go over to the Accruals and Balances tab. Select the time off code that you want to take a look at. So this will basically have your updated available balance as of whichever date you choose. Typically it's the date that you're looking at it. That example here, as I've been playing around with the PTO for this test employee, but this should show a positive balance for you throughout the year of what is left for you to be able to take. And then it shows you kind of the activity of any past PTO that you've done. These are the past dates. Here's your future dates of time off requests that you have later in the year. And that will always be up to date for you, so you never have any question as to whether you have any paid time off left. Other than that, that is about it. There's some report functionality that you generally won't need to use. That is it. So if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Human Resources and we can get those addressed for you. Thank you.